Hi, we're here at Kids on Stage. Today we're going to meet Jennifer Peterson and find out who she is and what she's doing for the community. Today on People of Northern Kentucky. So, hi Jennifer.
Hi.
Welcome to People of Northern Kentucky.
Thank you.
So I was told that I needed to interview you, that you were a very interesting person doing some great things here.
Oh, thank you.
So first though, let's find out a little bit about you, from your history. Okay. Where are you from? How did you end up here in Northern Kentucky?
Well, I'm a Boone County girl.
Oh, okay.
All right. I've moved a couple of times, but came back home. Around the 80s. But I have a musical theater background, and I've been singing since I was a little kid. So I've always been performing. And then about 30 years ago, I met my husband, who was a children's pastor at the time. And so I kind of stepped out of the arena, I guess, and began doing children's ministry with him. But I always brought music, of course, and drama into what we did. So right. I've always had drama groups working with youth, children, college age. And about 6-7 years ago, a friend of mine who owns the Learning Curve Tutoring Center asked me if I would be willing to give a drama class to about 6 or 7 kids. And I did, for a few weeks, and thought that that was it. And they kept asking me, can you do another one? Can you do another one? And the next thing I know, I had 30, 40 kids.
Oh, wow.
And so we just started doing shows. And my problem was I didn't have a theater. I didn't have even really rehearsal space. I had to borrow everything I did, churches, schools, whatever I could get. So about 2 years ago, we had done a show here at this building. It was a church about 5 years ago. And I said to the pastor, if you ever move from here, this is perfect for us. And so about 2 years ago, he called me and said, we're moving, do you want it? And it was like, okay, I guess I'll take the plunge.
Yeah.
And I did, and we hit the ground running. We've just not stopped in 2 years' time.
Well, when you say we hit the ground running, what is it that you do here?
Well, we do drama classes, beginners all the way up to experts. We do audition workshops to help children prepare for other theater experiences, school plays, even commercials, and maybe working with an agent. So I work with them in that way. I help them get audition songs ready. I also teach private voice lessons, so I have about 14, 15 students that I work with, and then we put on music recitals, vocal recitals, and then we just have shows. I have kids try out for shows, and we put about 6 to 8 shows on a year.
That's a lot of shows.
It is a lot of shows, it is. Sometimes they overlap, but then I have such a wide range of ages, so I don't want to put older kids in with younger kids. It just doesn't translate very well. The older kids want a little more sophisticated things. Yes. So I'll typically do 2 shows that kind of overlap at this, as far as rehearsing is concerned. And then we do about 5 drama camps a year where I have 30, 35 kids for a week. And then in a week's time, we put on a full-blown show, and they are amazing. Absolutely amazing, these kids. And so that's kind of what we do. We also do art lessons, and we have Suzuki violin right now going on. We're going to start drum lessons very soon. And so anything in the arts that we can provide for kids, we're trying to do it.
Wow. All right, so you do 6 to 8 productions a year. Well, what is your latest one, the one that's coming up next?
We're working on 2 right now. One is a Christmas play. We've got about 35 children in that.
Wow.
And it's called I Need a Christmas Vacation. It's about kids being on a Christmas break. And then my youth play that we're doing right now, I'm very, very excited about this because I wrote it myself. I've probably written about 20 plays, but this has been in the back of my mind for years, and it's called Lost in Writer's Block. And it's about an author who has a deadline, and he just can't finish this book. And the cool thing of it is, as he's writing, it's a split stage type of thing. His characters are on the other side of the stage. He can't see them, but every time he writes and types things, they come alive and do it. And then he changes his mind and they have to go back. And he's just, there's a mystery involved, and the characters take place in the 40s, whereas he's in modern day. So there's costume changes, and the sets are different. It's just a great little story, and the kids are doing such a good job with it. I'm very, very proud of them. So that will be in November 18th and 19th, and then the Christmas show will be December 3rd, 4th, something like first weekend, I think, of December.
So you've expanded way beyond just the drama.
Yes.
What kind of art lessons?
They do anywhere from basic drawing to expert. They'll do a comic book, like you turn yourself into a comic book character. We've got some sculpting. Our art director right now is doing an artist a week. So they study the style and history of an artist, and then they produce something like that. And it's really good. We've done eco art, where they take trash, and turn it into something really cool. We've even offered knitting lessons, sewing classes.
Oh, wow.
Just, I kind of listen to what parents are asking for, and if I can't do it, I'll find somebody to teach the class. I certainly can't teach art. But, and then we also have, my art teacher also has a stage crafting group where they'll do the sets, paint the sets, and make props and things like that. So sometimes, kids want to be involved in theater, but they don't necessarily want to be on stage.
They just want to be around it and
absolutely,
help with it.
Yeah. I have kids here that work on tech and sound, and we do our photo shots, our headshots in-house. So I just try to provide everything that I would have wanted as a kid in theater. I'm trying to provide that here.
Well, you talk about, you've always been in it, but what do you feel led you that way? You said when you were like
4 or 5 years old. I
was
singing.
4 or 5.
It's really funny because my mother was so in love with the movies in Hollywood, and she was in radio here in town and had a radio show for years.
Your mom had a radio show here?
Yes. Her name was Billy Burkhart, and her show was called Girl on the Go.
Wow.
And so back in the day when Bob Braun and Paul Dixon and all of them were doing that stuff, whoever they had on their TV show, she then would meet them for lunch and do a radio interview. So I kind of grew up with that whole performing thing, and my family all sings, and so it's just,
it was just a natural thing for you to be.
Yeah, I wanted to be an actress all of my life until I went to New York for about 6 weeks and came back home with my tail tucked between my legs because it was a very scary place.
Yes.
I love to sing and I love to perform, but I was never very competitive. And
yeah,
so,
it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Really, and it kind of took the love of it away from me, which is a lot of my philosophy here. I'm not trying to make children into Broadway stars. I'm just trying to give them an outlet for creativity, expressing themselves, singing, dancing. It's just a very warm, encouraging place. I also try to educate them in theater so that when they do go someplace else, they know what stage right, stage left, they know all the terms and how to present a play. But we're not competitive here. I will take a shy child and somehow get them to say 2 or 3 lines. And then the next thing you know, they're signing up for the next class and the next show. And that's what I'm all about, is encouraging children.
Helping them to get the passion for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And theater isn't just, like I said, for Broadway people. It also helps you in life to do job interviews, college interviews, stand up and give a report in front of your class, just to present yourself in front of people. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes.
A lot of fun.
Well, you look like you're having a lot of fun.
I do. I enjoy it a lot. I enjoyed a lot, yeah.
Was there anything you do else for fun here in Northern Kentucky, since you've been here for a lot of your life?
Yeah.
What do you like doing here?
I feel like this is my whole life right now.
It probably
our children
is.
are grown. Both my children, my sons are musicians, and
oh, wow.
They're doing what they love to do professionally. I'm a teacher at Union Point Academy, a drama teacher.
Okay.
That's a new private school. I think we're in our 4th year, where we specialize in online blended learning. So we have some reading issue like dyslexia, that type of thing. We have specialized teachers that are trained in that. But then we also have athletes who travel. We have gymnasts and hockey players who travel across the country for what they do, so they can still complete their schoolwork through computer. So anyway, I teach drama to them.
Okay.
And I do that a couple times a week. And really, that's all I do. I mean, that is all I do.
Drama, and more
sing,
drama.
drama. Yeah, it's just, but you know, I'm at the time in my life where my kids are grown, so I don't have to worry about their activities and things. This has become my grandchild. That's just awesome. It's just something that I love, and I've wanted to do it most of my life, and finally took the plunge and did it.
And finally have the place now.
Absolutely, yes,
Also.
yeah, right. Yeah, because I used to do all of this out of a storage unit in the trunk of my car,
oh, goodness.
Literally begging for a place to rehearse and perform. And I really was on the brink of quitting. I had just tried to do everything I could to find a theater. They're so expensive to rent, if they'll even rent to you. So many times they've got their own programs. They don't really have a lot of space to rent out. So I kind of thought, I'm going to take a little sabbatical, go on a little break over the summer a couple years ago. And I thought, I think I'm done. And I came back into town, and the pastor that was at this church, his email was waiting for me when I got back. And he said, you always said if we ever moved, and he said, we're moving, do you want it? And I was like, okay, here we go. So that's when I decided to really go all in. And it's been a great decision. We just, we've practically outgrown it, and we've been here 2 years.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I know you said this brings out from some kids some things, that they're quiet and they come out. What is your favorite story about a child or a teen that you've worked with?
We did a show here, but it was with our school. And the first year we did a play, I had this one young lady who said, I have terrible stage fright. Can I just, the play took place in a school. Can I just sit here with a book in front of my face? And I said, yes. And at the very end, I'll give you one line. It literally was one word. And she pulled the book down and said her one line. And the following school year, she came to me and said, I have terrible stage fright. I said, I understand that, and I would never force you to do anything. She said, I want to try out for the lead. And I was like,
wow.
Okay, and she did, and she was phenomenal.
Wow.
And her parents were coming to us weeping.
Oh.
Grandparents, aunts, uncles. She was so shy, but she was amazing on stage. Absolutely amazing. We have dyslexia students who have a hard time reading the script, but they memorize it so quick. And when they do, they just come alive on stage. And I mean, hearing these kids sing in the background, I could just sit here and cry. They're just sweet kids that just want to express themselves.
And you've given them an outlet now.
Well, I feel like I've been provided by God to provide this for kids. I really do. I believe it's as much of a ministry than when we were in the full-time ministry. I believe it with all my heart. I believe God opened the doors for this place for me and all these kids and parents. So
that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody wants to find out more about what you do here, what's the best way to get in touch with you? I
would go to our website, which is kidsonstageky.com, and everything we do is there, including my phone number if they want to call. And I also have a Facebook page, which is Kids on Stage Drama School, and they can get in touch with us that way. Thank you for what you do. Oh, thank you. Thanks for letting me share my purpose and vision, and I appreciate you giving us the opportunity. My pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., get to know your neighbor by catching a new edition of People of Northern Kentucky.